do it. Hope everyone's been safe and healthy. It was a quite experience for myself over the break, given that I got COVID. So I'm sure I'm not the only one. So just give me one moment. I'm just trying to set up live on Facebook for those of you that follow via Facebook. So just one moment. That's it. And I'm just using this opportunity as people are joining in. So, all right, brilliant. That's it. All right, so fantastic. So we've got quite a few. It's quite a large session today. On my so, all right. So sorry, I'll be a bit scattered. Just had that set up. So look, again, thank you for all to join. It's quite a interesting webinar this time around. We've got quite a few points that we're going to go through, and I'm hoping to sort of go through all of them. And it's quite exciting. So I'll rattle off what we're going to focus on today. It's going to be facade options, bird's eye view, the new feature in terms of patterns, house and land packaging. We're going to be touching on the web widget as it relates to house and land packaging, and also the Canibuild service desk and a few other bits and pieces that hopefully I've got time for. As in all these sessions, feel free to sort of ask questions, whether it's in the chat portal. Amy, hello to you as well. So feel free to sort of jump in and ask any questions that you might have trouble with or wanted to sort of raise, and I'll try to answer them and try to thread them through. So given it's 5 minutes in, what I'll do is let's just jump start. I'll politely ask Jim to hide his screen, and then we'll sort of get things kicking on. So let me just share my screen. Fantastic. So hopefully everyone can see my screen there. Given that most of you are probably already clients, this is very familiar to you, but for those of you that might be jumping on, companies that are on trial or looking into the application, or for those of you, quick run through, Canibuild's a client-facing sales application tool, cloud-based. And it just essentially helps you be able to better sell construction to your clients. So without further ado, we'll go to an address. No prizes for those of you that's going to guess which address I go to. It's probably the most searched address on the planet around about now. So we're going to this address, and what I'm going to be running through is I'll go through some easy wins. There's been a feature that got released in the last couple of weeks, which we're really proud of. It's going to be particularly important for determining access, and it's called the bird's eye view. So as soon as you get to an address, we've got this aerial image as per always. So we've got a high-res image of that address, which is great. But what we're also doing, so let me just quickly let that load. So we've got this aerial image of the address as per always. And then on the right-hand side at the bottom there, you can see the Google Street Preview as per normal as well. But just above that, there's a new icon, which is a little picture of a bird and an eye, so hence the bird's eye view. And if you do click on that bird's eye view, which you may have not noticed, it gives you an angled view of the property that you're on. So you're able to see that on angle. You can see windows, the side of existing structures. So for those of you that are joining on as pool or granny flat builders, this is of definite value. So you're able to see what you're contending with. And then in the center on the right-hand side, you've got a rotate wheel. And here you can rotate around this particular property. So you can see it from the front, you can see it from both sides, and you can see it from the rear. So you're able to get quite a clear picture as to what you're contending with. So even those custom home builders looking at doing extensions, etc., you can see here how there'll be definite value in being able to see the rear of this property, windows, etc. And you're already getting quite a lot of context as opposed to just relying on that aerial view. So that's quite good. So that's a feature that's been released for a few weeks, but many of you may have not noticed that it's there. I'll also keep an eye out on any questions that you might have going along the way. So what I'll next jump to, because that's quite a straightforward feature, but one that could have been missed, is we've also got facades and house and land packages, which I'll sort of touch on. So let's get straight into that. So what we've done is the team has been working quite hard in releasing house and land packages. And then basically what that entails is, in a very similar way to what you're used to, you're able to select the design. So let's just start citing a property with the understanding that we're going to be doing a package. So then we can simply search, say, a design, click on the design and place that onto the property as per normal. I might also take this opportunity to sort of touch on the design options that you're able to sort of do as well, which is a feature that's come in the last webinar, so late last year. But regardless, we've got a floor plan here, we've placed it onto the site, and you can notice on the left-hand side, it's giving us plan options and facade options. So the plan options are known modifications you can do to the existing floor plan. So let's just zoom in and see what these might look like. So we've got grand living, for example. And then what will happen is this will modify the floor plan on the fly. So you're able to see this modification. The red color that you're seeing here could be any color whatsoever. It could be transparent. So it could be white, as if like the existing floor plan, or blue or green or corporate color. It's just to identify that there's been a change. And then we can do, say, for example, double garage, just to show how this is changing. So you can imagine if we're citing for a house and land package, this could be a new estate or an infill development or whatever might be the scenario. It doesn't really matter, given Canibuild works agnostic to whether it's registered or unregistered. So here we've picked a design, we've made some modifications to that design, and now we've got facades. Now in the facades, you can run through those facade options that you have. You can allocate the standard facade, or the, for instance, in here, the Metro or the Hampton. So let's just pick the Metro. So this is assigned the facade. We are improving this screen to actually show a preview of these facades rather than just the names. But for now, we've got these names listed, and I'll go through the steps to upload these facades in the design upload option that we have. It's quite simple, and I'll sort of touch on that in a moment. But just to showcase how it works, we've clicked on a floor plan, we've modified the floor plan, we've positioned it, we've selected some plan options, we've clicked on Metro. Now, what we can do is go to cart and go to flyer, just to see how that flyer looks. Go to order, agree to T's and C's, and go checkout. And that'll generate a flyer in the background, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, whether you're generating site plans or flyers. So we can click flyer, click download, and open that guy up. Just a quiet plug to Clarendon. It's just been set up that way, so apologies. But here we've got a flyer that we've generated. So it's got the base price of the design. It's got some dimension boxes. It's got the address. It shows the modifications that's been done on the floor plan, the sales consultant's details, etc. So very quickly and it's assigned that facade. Now the benefit is if you switch the facades, it'll reconcile on the flyer automatically. So if you click another facade, it'll change that flyer on the fly, pardon the pun. So if I jump back, so we've got our flyer. If I click on the quoting, it's showing us those plan option changes and how that's modified the price. The facade can have a price itself, so the standard could be 0, and the Hamptons and this, whatever it might be. The Metro might be $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. So very quickly you're able to see what the effect is on the price. That can even be done in the the flyer and the house and land, depending on how you set it up. So in very quick order, we've been able to cite something, position it. We can generate site plans to be worked in. Everything I've done here might look very sort of similar to what you're used to in terms of citing, but now what you're able to do is on the right-hand side of the address description, which is this filing cabinet to the right of the address. If I click on that, this is where you're able to actually save this citing as a house and land package. So here you can see that I've done 2 previously, but right now we're on this highlighted draft in the middle of the screen. If you click on the 3 little dots, you can actually package this deal. So if I package that deal, what I'll actually do is basically nominate this version of the citing as a house and land package. So it's as simple as that. So many companies have spent weeks or months trying to sort of create their packages. Now you're able to create any number of packages per address very simply. So here we can create the package name. Let's call it the FAQ special. We can have the facade name allocated, and then you can even have the price if you wanted to override the calculated price. So say for instance, the calculated price came out to be 478,350. You might want to sort of allocate a different price for that. So 499,000 or something more appealing visually. So, and then you can have Metro as the facade, and then click generate package. Now what this will do is it'll start allocating this version of the citing as a package. It's just that that simple. So in the background, it's doing this work, and then the benefit of now is you can integrate this into REA. You can integrate this into other platforms, say iBuildNew, very easily. So I'll show you how that works. So just give me a few moments as that's working its magic in the background. And what will happen shortly is it'll allocate this deal as a package in a very similar way as the 2 examples above it. You'll notice that the second, the example here called the Gym House and Land Special is padlocked. So what that means is you're able to lock the house and land package. So as soon as you push that out to a separate platform, be it realestate.com or iBuildNew or any of the other platforms that you might be pushing out to, basically that'll padlock so as to not be able to modify it again. But then what you're able to do is to say, for example, a client comes in and says, I'm interested in this package. You can actually modify that package and create a new version on it. So the client might just go, look, if it hasn't started construction yet, can I go with you know, some internal change or a different kitchen or a different paint color or whatever it might be, and you might annotate accordingly and do it that way. So you can see here that the FAQ special has popped up, and we've got this package being generated, and now it's generated. So that's as simple as it is to now package a house and land on a particular address, be it a knockdown, infill, or new greenfield, etc. Now, the benefit now is, again, you can click these 3 little dots, view the info of it, create a deal of it, and create a deal is just another version of it, or lock it so you don't accidentally modify it, so that way it's consistent with what you've pushed out to REA. Now, the other advantage is you not only need to push out to REA, you can push out to your localized web widget, which is a lightweight version of Canibuild. And I'll quickly showcase how that looks. So for those of you that don't know about our lightweight web widget, sorry, I'll quickly load up an example that one company has embedded on their website, and I'll showcase how that looks. So I'll let that sort of go. I'll let that quickly load. That's not my website, so just let that sort of load up, hopefully. Whoops, actually, click the link. So as soon as that loads up, I'll quickly show you, but what you're able to do is that house and land package will automatically appear on the web widget, which you can have embedded on your website. So if I do that, how it looks, and I'll quickly showcase that now. So let me just quickly do a share of screen. So here's an example of how it looks. Basically, that house and land package that you save, you'll be shown as house and land packages in the same way that you could see in the design tab on the side in this webinar, but it'll also appear on the actual block itself, so you can see the house and land package. So it allows your clients to come to your website and self-serve and see what house and land packages are available on given blocks of land, whether it's in a greenfield estate or an infill or land that you own, et cetera, et cetera. And then you're able to do things like put a holding deposit on the house and land package, 72-hour refundable, etc. All these kind of mechanisms. You've got payment gateways, etc. So the key takeaway here is you're able to cite as per usual. You're able to save that citing as a house and land package. You're able to push out that house and land package to REA through an authorization process, and that's set up with allocating who can authorize to push out. And then it can also push out concurrently to the web widget where it'll appear on your website. So it's a real seamless process that in 5 minutes, you can have house and land packages appearing on your own website through the web widget, which is what this is. So if you haven't heard about our web widget before, feel free to sort of reach out to us, and we'd love to have a chat in regards to that as well. So let me just quickly go back and share my main screen. So just one moment. So we're back here. Now, the other advantage is when you do go back to this address and you click on, say, for example, designs, these house and land packages will be remembered, which means that if I go on the designs, you can see the house and land package at the top and you can select it. So what that means is if a client comes in and goes, I'm interested in that package on 78 Hood Street, you're able to go to 78 Hood Street, see the house and land package, click on it and drill down. And then depending on your business process, you can start making changes to that if it hasn't started construction or the approval process, or allow minor changes internally, or just simply showcase how that build looks and then continue on the sales process. Hopefully that's been loaded. Yep, so hopefully you can see that web widget. So this is going back to that example. So this is embedded on this builder's website. Someone's able to then pick on a particular estate or a block of land through the search bar at the top left. If you do click on that project, you're able to zoom in and select the lot as per normal. So here, when you do select a lot and drill down, it'll ask you to verify. I'm not sure why that's popped up, but you're able to verify your login, choose a plan on the left-hand side, and basically start either citing afresh, or this is where you'll be able to see any house and land packages that's been saved against, say, this particular estate. So it's that simple. So it's a real seamless process. So jumping back to the main app. So hopefully this gives you an idea of how simple, and like most things in Canibuild, it's meant to be lightweight. It's meant to be, look, I've just cited, I just want to save this as a house and land package. On the top, you can notice that there's a new icon called My Packages. So at the top, just the Hi Timothy. To the left of that, you've got your notification bell, you've got your My Dashboard, and you've got My Packages. When you do click on My Packages, this is show all the packages that you have saved and locked, and then you'll be able to have a complete view across the entire organization of all the packages saved. So again, it makes it simple, especially for those particular builders that have quite a few packages on the run. It's just a consolidated view. So you can see here that at the FAQ special, and be able to see the status of that. So if I had pushed out to REA, you'll say that it's pushed out to REA. You've got that lock there, And again, it's a very simple way to sort of track all your house and land packages. And it opens the door to create packages that are purely just shown on your website. So it gives you the opportunity to showcase 30 packages rather than say a select 5. Given that you're paying for some of these platforms to advertise out in the public, you can advertise, say, 30 more on your website and take advantage of that and start using that as a lead gen. So again, we'll be really happy to speak to anyone that's interested in the that web widget functionality. So now jumping back, so we've touched on bird's eye view, we've touched on facades, we've touched on house and land packaging. The other feature that I want to sort of touch on is patterns. So let me just jump back to the main screen. Let me go to 78 Hood Street again. One day I will surprise everyone and go to a different address. Did I load that? Actually, let me actually go to a different address. And I do apologize, I think generally my internet's going quite slow because it's not just this side of us, poor advanced homes, so it's nothing against them, it's just myself. All right. So let me just go to a different address just to keep things interesting. So 287 Blacktown Road, Seven Hills. So now the pattern feature, it can be used by any build type, whether it's a home build or a granny flat build or a shed builder. But the whole idea behind it is if you click the measuring tool, which is found on the right-hand side, so you've got your lines, curved lines, circles, squared. Let's just go with the polygon. Now, let's just say you're marking out an area. Now, this area could be alfresco decking. It could be the surrounding area to a pool. And what you can now do is rather than just relying on the plain colors, you can click on that shape, click on that pattern icon, and now you're able to click on patterns. If there's patterns that you'd like to see there, feel free to reach out. We've just started with some typical patterns, say paver, tile, brick lay, concrete, and decking. Now, if you do click on, say, concrete to explain that this is going to be exposed concrete, you can click the concrete and then change the transparency to make it a little bit more profound, and then basically show that concrete pattern. And then it just reinforces that this is exposed aggregate, for example, or it's going to be tiled finished, or it's going to be decking, et cetera, et cetera. So if I did change that to, say, decking, you can show it as decking, or you can show it as tile. Now, it may, on face value, seem as a pretty simple feature, but especially with pool installers and builders, this is essential to be able to very clearly showcase to the client, which is sometimes lost in an annotation, that we're only leaving this as exposed concrete, whether it's, say, for example, a home builder doing a concrete path or a granny flat company doing a path on the side of the house. It's just an easy way to say that's left as exposed aggregate. And if you wanted to upgrade to tiled or decking or something like that, we can have that conversation and then quote for it per se. So we've got pattern as well. And again, you can still change the color, et cetera, to make sure that that's clearly visible and clearly identifying what you want it to sort of portray. So just jumping back to my bullet points to make sure I don't miss anything. So we've touched on facades, we've touched on bird's eye view, we've touched on pattern, we've touched on house and land packages, and we've touched on web widget. Now, the other thing that I really want to sort of touch on, which might come across as a little bit boring at first, it's our support contact method. So we have got a support desk, which is online. So if I go to that support desk, and you'll see that on any email. So if you're emailing support@canibuild.com, you would have got an email back informing you to visit our service desk portal. So I'm just loading that up now. Now, the benefit of the service desk is it makes it a lot more streamlined in terms of how to lodge service requests. You're able to, for us, we'll be able to respond a lot quicker to those service requests. So if I just go back to that page, I'm not sure why my internet's going so slow, so I appreciate everyone bearing with me. I'm not sure. So I might circle back to that one, guys. But the main takeaway is you would have got that link. I'm not sure why it's not popping up on my desktop, but that link takes you to a service desk. It will allow you to request estates. It will allow you to raise issues, and we'll be able to respond more promptly to those service requests. And then the other benefit is you'll be able to track where that support ticket is. You'll be able to see where it's progressing and any notes associated to that. So I'll circle back as soon as that sort of loads up again. Not sure why it's not popping up. Let me just try one more time. Not sure. So let me just give me one moment and I'll touch base. I've got a question here. Oh, I know what the reason is. I had the wrong link. So aren't I a genius? So thank you, Bree, for posting that. So we've got the link. So we've got the link is, I'll make sure that I'll post this on the open chat, but you would have all received it and I should have received it as well, to be honest. So that's my bad, but you're able to come to this support channel. You're able to see the help center. You're able to search for information there. So this gives you full access to any videos, documentation, etc., to be able to assist. If you click on Canibuild support at the bottom here, here you can see technical support requests, estate requests, plan uploads, planning rules, existing customer subscription account billing. It's just a really prompt way for us to be able to respond to you faster and faster. So that's our commitment to all our clients, to make sure that we actually keep responding as quickly as possible. I've got a quick question from Brad. My map dates for my area haven't been updated. Is this something I can request? Yes, 100%. So if you, Brad, put that as a request and we'll have a look at that, because we've got a myriad of imagery providers. So Brad, definitely send that through, because that shouldn't be almost a year old now. So send that through to us and we'll get back to you. That's 100%. So I've gone through quite a few of the bullet points of what we've released. What I might touch on now is just a quick preview. We didn't list it on the email that we sent out, just to give you a preview of what's to come in the next couple of weeks. And it's quite exciting. So this is a little bit more flash. The features that we honed in today are critical to be able to, especially for home builders, house and land packages, whether it's using the web widget. And the web widget is not just for home builders, it could be used for pool builders as well, where you can showcase all your shells or concrete pool options and be able to place that in people's, that client can self-serve and run through the different options you have. So let me quickly showcase. So I've got a quick question from Whitney. Hello, don't know what the time is over there right now, Whitney, but I appreciate you jumping on. So is there a tutorial on how to set up and use plan options? Didn't see the article in the help center. Yes, 100%. Whitney, I'll definitely send through a link to our previous webinar where we go through how to upload design options, how to take advantage of those design options, and definitely you can contact me direct as well. But I'll send you through all those options, Whitney, and I do appreciate you took the time to jump on and see what's new in Canibuild. I genuinely appreciate it. And I think every second LinkedIn post I see, Whitney, is something about yourself or your company. So it seems like you guys are doing great over there. San Diego, so congrats. Jenna, we've got a question from Jenna. Hi, you said earlier that you were going to show us on how to upload facades. 100%, let's do that. So again, so the question is how to upload facades. So good question. If you go to admin and then go to design catalog, and then go to say houses, and let's just go to the one that I was on, which was the Berkeley. You can click edit. This is definitely a feature that I hope to be able to announce next month, because the edit button is these microscopic 3 little dots next to the price, and you can click edit item. On behalf of the entire Canibuild team, I do apologize for that. It's almost like a challenge to find those 3 little dots. You're coming to this page. You click the placement image because you're trying to modify this. And then you'll be going to this page where you're able to create plan options. So Whitney, this is basically how you add those options as well. And this is where you can put facades. So let's just go through the 2 options. You can add options to ground floor, first floor. So if it's a double story ADU or it's a double story house, you're able to click add option and it'll run through the steps for plan options. Facades is a lot easier. We can simply click add option, select the cover image, select the price. So the cost of that facade, so 5,000, 10,000, whatever it might be the scenario, and the name of that facade. So this could be another example facade, the price, you click the cover image, a pop-up will come and you select an appropriate facade image. Now, for custom home builders, these can be just the previous photo of the completed job. So a lot of custom home builders are loading in all their old jobs that they finished, loading them in. You can still take advantage of the facade feature, load in a finished photo of that job. So then when you generate a flyer to a client where you're speaking to and say, hey, look, we've done something like this similar in a previous job before at 22 Park Street, and this is how it looks. You can still take advantage of that. But just to recap, go to admin, go to design catalog, click on the design, edit, click on that placement image, you'll arrive here, click on facades, click add option, click an image, give that option a name, and that's what is going to appear when you select that particular design. The plan options, it's very similar process. You're able to add an option. So even if you add a previous option, say this double vanity, you can see here that you can add the vanity, and then the system will allow you to align those options and align it to where the change is. And the system runs through all these steps. So then you can play with these options. So the sky's the limit. You can have internal changes, extended alfresco porches, porticos. You can basically go wild. But Whitney, I'll send through that video link. But I'm sure you can see from here, it's quite a simple process to run through those options and add them in. And you can add them per level as well, whether it's ground floor or first floor. I've got a few other questions. Also, can you please show how to upload a 2-story design? 100%. Let's do that as well. So Amy, that's a good question. So if you haven't noticed already, and I'll quickly, for the benefit of everyone, I'll quickly show 2 stories. So many of you may have just been working on the single story design. So for example, this is a single story. Let me just quickly add in another design. So let me just delete this guy. Actually, I'll just create a new draft. So what I'll show is the end result of having uploaded a 2-story design, and then I'll go back and show you how to do it. And I might just run through the steps of how to do design options as well in the time I've got, and take advantage and answer everyone's question. I'll upload a facade, I'll upload a design option, and I'll upload a double story. Alrighty. And again, apologies for my net speed today. It's just been slower than I would like, especially for a webinar, but so be it. So here, if I pick a double-story design and I click on that, and I zoom in, you can see here the benefit of having a two-story design is twofold. You're able to see the dashed line representing the upper floor level. So you're able to see how that interrelates with the ground floor. Also, the advantage is with setbacks, as you approach a setback, you can see that something's wrong. There's a visual cue affecting the second level. If you switch to an architectural view, you can actually see the setbacks for the second level. And on the right-hand side, you've got this little house feature, like this half-colored house. If you select that and switch to the upper floor, it will actually show you the upper floor plate. Just for visualization, because Canibuild is first and foremost a sales tool. You're able to show clients this is how the upper floor, bottom floor, this is why the setback's flaring up, and you need to go here in order to avoid that setback. If you switch to the upper floor, you can see that setback and approach it and say that's as close as we can get in this orientation for this design on a two-story design. And then if you click on rules, you're able to see here ground floor and first floor, and you'll be able to see those setbacks. And then again, if I breach the setback, you're able to see that the first floor is breaching. You need to be at 1.9 and you're currently at 1.55. So that's the advantage of having two-story designs. The other advantage is when you generate a flyer, which I'll very quickly do, and I will jump back and show you how to do this. If you click on flyer, click order, agree to T's and C's and go check out. The advantage is when I download that and open that up, it'll show the ground floor, first floor as well. So it automatically takes that into account rather than just showing the single floor, and it shows it in a nice presentable way. So now how do you actually do it? And I'll make available when we upload this to YouTube in the comments, or we can post it out in the comments now, that previous YouTube link of how to go through design options. There was a whole webinar on just that, but let's go through it. So if I go to design catalog and go to houses, and let's just start one from scratch, shall we? So let me just quickly pull up a plan. So just give me one moment. While I'm doing that, I hope everyone had a safe break and is ready for the year ahead. I think I've said this 2 years running now that I hope this year is better than the previous, but let's not hold our breath. So sorry guys, I'm just trying to find a very quick example of a two-story design so I can upload that. So just one tick. All right, brilliant. I'll just use that. Okay, so done. All right, so here, when we're uploading, say, a two-story design, and I'll run through a design option as well, what we can do is if we click on the three little dots next to Hi Timothy, click Add Item, which is basically Add Design, it's going to ask you to add in a screenshot or a PDF or something of a two-story design. So let's just, I'm selecting like a marketing PDF now, which I've just done very quickly. This will take a few seconds to load because it is a large PDF. And then we'll be able to select the floor plan, and I'll show you how to do a ground floor and an upper floor. So let's just give that a few moments. What is the use of the toggle snap? So Amy, is that the magnet on the side? If you're referring to the magnet, basically if you approach the floor plan close to a boundary, it'll snap to that boundary. So it'll align itself with that boundary. The reason I take it off is as I approach the boundary, it'll try to snap. And what I'm trying to show is breaching the setback. I'm not trying to snap to the setback. So I turn it off just so I can easily breach it, or also just constantly trying to snap to it. Sometimes you'll have to turn off snap purely because it'll drive you insane on a smaller block of land. So if you've got a small block and you're trying to put in a house, it'll just keep snapping. So Whitney with ADUs might have to turn off snap as well, because if her team is trying to put a granny flat in the backyard, it might just keep snapping to the boundaries, and you just want to turn it off so you can easily orientate it. So that's why I've done that. So here we've uploaded our PDF. If I go to a page with a floor plan, so I can scroll, this one will be great. So the first step would be to crop out the first floor. And whether this is a granny flat or a pool, it'll be the same process. Obviously, pool won't be double story. If you do a double story pool, definitely give me a call because I want to see it. So all I'm doing now is cropping. So basically as per normal, and I'm cropping the ground floor first. All right, so I click the scissors to crop. I've got a crop version of this plan. I give it a known measurement. I just know that that's, say, 13 meters. And then I'll be, let's just actually change that. I'll give it another known measurement. So I know that this one is 10 meters. So all it's asking is a known measurement. And then what I can do is go first floor. So if you on the top, you can see the first floor tab, and I'll ask you to do the same step. So let's just go to that page. And now we'll be cropping this page, this section. So I'll do the same for the top floor. While I'm doing that as well, the other thing I want to sort of remind everyone, especially for those of you using us for approvals and the marketplace, we are now doing approvals for sheds and pools in New South Wales, Victoria, and New Zealand. So that's very good for those of you interested in that. And if you did want to find out more about our approval options on the marketplace, again, definitely reach out. I'll be happy to speak to you about that. So here we've cropped it. And now we just click the scissors again. And now we do the scaled measurement, which I think it was 10 meters. So we're scaling the top floor and the bottom floor. That's because sometimes the top floor is in a different scale on PDFs, things like that. So 10, then you click align, and then you're able to align. It snaps like that. So pretty groovy. That's as quick as it is. On the right-hand side, we're going to start giving some vital info. So let's just call this the webinar quick example. And this is a 2-story. The price is $399. The size is 259. Imagine you've recorded these attributes correctly. You can add the attributes, so you can say this is 2-story, this is X number of bedrooms, this is X number of bathrooms, so on and so forth. And this just helps with the filtering options from the front end. So the garage area is 36 square meters, ground floor area, and so on. And then you can go through to the plan options, which I'll quickly showcase as well. But if I save this, that's as simple as it is. So I'll go here, I'll search for that example. If I go to the end, it's there. So webinar quick example. I could have added facades if I wanted to. That's why there's a blank facade right now. So I could have added facades. I could have added design options. But just to quickly showcase how this looks, I go then in designs, click the back arrow and look up webinar quick example, click replace. And then what will appear is the example of the plan that I just loaded. And then you can position that and see if it fits this block, etc. So I hope that that process looks as easy as it actually is. And then you've got your red visual cue for the upper floor. You can see what the setbacks are, etc., etc. And then again, you can use that shaded area on the right-hand side, that shaded house, and switch to upper floor and then see the upper floor design. So it's literally that easy. And the design options is very similar. So let me just quickly see if I can find something with design options. So, and let me do that for you as well. And because I've got remaining 12 minutes, is everyone fine with me showcasing this? I've got another quick question. When do you think shed approvals will be available in South Australia? Don't quote me on this, but I think that's next cab off the rank. I can get Nug or Anuf to reach out to you and give you an exact timeline. Bree or Jim, if you can sort of ask the question, I can sort of post it now while we wait. So I'm sure I'll be able to give you that exact answer, Jenna. But I'm pretty sure the answer will be soon, but I'll just get the actual answer rather than me just fluffing it a bit. So just give me one tick. So what I've done there is I've done the design. I hope that answered the earlier question on how to do double story. If I go to design options, just give me one tick and I'll load one up. That should be an example. So there was actually one I was doing yesterday on behalf of Clarendon. So let me just give me one tick. Let me just quickly stop the share. And I'll load this up and show how it works. So one second, guys, bear with me. What I'll do very shortly is show how we can do design options, and it's a very similar process to that two-story. So 1 second. All I'm doing is grabbing an example design option. This will do. And download. Okay. So this is for, say, a domain homes example. And so if I go, and I think this is for the Orlando 28. So let's just run through. So give me one tick. Let me share. All right, let's just do this. So on Hi Timothy, we can go admin. And I hope you guys are happy with this, the ad hocness sometimes. I prefer to answer questions that are asked because this is genuinely a webinar for you guys. It's not entirely an upsell, although the web widget was, but I hope you can allow us to do that. If I go design catalog and go to houses, and I'll just go to Orlando design. So, all right. So I loaded up this design previously. Okay. So I'll go to edit. I'll go to placement image, same process as previously. Here, if I click on facades, there was the cube, the Juliet, the traditional. So there's all the facades that relate to this design. And I was going to do plan options yesterday, but I'll do it now. So here we've got plan options. We click add options. We want to add a plan option to the ground floor. So we click add option. Now, what it's going to do is ask for me to select a file. So I'm not sure if this is coming up. All it's doing is a pop-up to select a file. And I'm going to click that file. So I'm opening that up. So I've clicked on this plan that has some design options on it. So these options. So let's just pick a option that we want to sort of showcase. And let's just pick, for argument's sake, the living. So now it's just going to ask you to change this powder room option. So that's very simple. So let's just select that option. So it's very similar to the crop of the plan. So we select that design option. We click the scissors and we crop that design option. Now it's going to give you, ask you for what is this design option. So let me just see what that was. I'm opening up the PDF just to properly name it. It shows shower to powder room option. So that's quite simple. So let's call this shower powder. You can add a price, 8,000. 80,000 is probably a bit too much, but 8,000. Give it a known measurement. Geez, I don't have the known measurement, but I'll put 2 meters. This is to scale it. You can modify it later, and I'll show you how. And then if you go to first align options, it'll ask you to align. So you can see that option there. You can see it's highlighted in black. You can choose that and change the color that you want to highlight it in. You want to highlight it in purple. Let's just do purple. And you can see here that I got my scale completely wrong. So let's just go back to ground floor and let's just change that. So I'm just doing this on the fly. So we've got, let's just go 3.5. It's more likely. Line option. So great. So let's go 3.1. Sorry, if you know the measurements, it'll be easier, but I'm just trying to showcase how this looks. So let's just do 3.3. This will do it. So here we've got, and it's aligned itself. So all I've done is aligned itself. The system's smart enough to lock. I hope you can see that it's locking. So it's pretty intelligent in that regard. So you don't see how it just aligns itself. So we've locked that there. Now you can repeat this process with design options. So the alfresco, the garage, you can change the colors to transparent, but let's just leave it to that and click save. And then it's that simple. We've done a design option as well. And the facade is just loading up the image of the facade. And then if I go through and pick the design and place it, you'll be able to cite it, pick that option and show that design option as I did the changes before. So I hope that answers that question. Yep, so thanks, Bree, for the update. Yeah, I'm sure Nug would reach out to that earlier question regarding South Australia and then give you that answer. We don't want to give you an incorrect answer. And Whitney, I really hope that that has helped. And Whitney, especially for ADUs, I can tell you that that design option change will be amazing because you can actually visually show. And many times builders are hesitant to show design options, especially at the start, because it carries effort, correct? So if you mentioned that there is a bathroom option or a porch option or an adjoining parking option, clients would obviously say, well, how does that look, right? So if that answer isn't easily given, then sales consultants typically try to avoid having to talk too much about all the options because it just delays the sales process, especially initially. So it'll be, here's the ADU. But now you'll be able to just click on it and what you'll see is upgrades, and these design options will start becoming a lot more common because you can just simply say, here's the two-way bathroom, or here's the garage option, or here's the slightly modified bedroom orientation, or here is the 3-bedroom or 2-bedroom and study option. And you can sort of leverage how much you can get out of your existing designs, because you can have an amazing top selling design, and which is a 3-bedroom, and switch it to a 2-bedroom and study, or a 2-bedroom and larger living, or a you know, 3-bedroom but smaller, or whatever might be the scenario, or 2-bedroom with en suites, etc., etc. So hopefully that shows you how simple it is, especially when doing it on the fly on the webinar. But that's what this FAQ hour is all about. It's just to randomly ask questions and get the most out of it. But I'll still send you that link, Whitney, so then you can replay it. And then like all our webinars, we upload this to YouTube so everyone can access this at the end again as well. So I've got another question here, Jamie. So a question from Jamie. Hi, Tim. The bird's eye view doesn't work everywhere yet. It doesn't. It's not everywhere. We are working on releasing more and more availability for bird's eye. It does cover an amazing amount of areas, but not everywhere. So you've given me an address here. I'll load it up. But if you're telling me it's grayed out, it'll be grayed out. But we are expanding on it. So I hope you can see that we are always progressing the application and providing more and more. But let me just load up this one. Yeah, it's grayed out, unfortunately, for this address. So it's not available, but we are working on it. That's genuine. So I apologize. In this case, we couldn't provide the bird's eye view. Where are we in the world? Okay, well, it looks like a nice spot, but you're able to use all the other functionality. And when the bird's eye view is not there, you can still leverage the Google Street Preview from within app and be able to take advantage of that as well. If anyone's got any other questions, feel free to rattle them off. But in the last second, I'll just quickly showcase what we're working on in terms of coming up in the coming weeks, which is quite exciting. I'll be really brief and I'll just give a quick insight. And this is the part where I give the developers a bit of a heart attack because I log into the development environment. So again, whether it's the main environment or the development environment, I live on 78 Hood Street. I should purchase this property if it does come up for sale. So basically, again, looks like normal, but on the right-hand side, you can see a little cube underneath the cut and fill icon. On the right-hand side, just below Hi Timothy, so the bank of icons, the last one there, which is this little 3D view. Again, if this explodes, bear with me because it is our development environment and our developers are working on this. But you can see here that it quickly goes into a 3D mode and you'll be able to showcase the project in 3D and you'll be able to change its location from within here. But what you're also able to do is click on it. And this could be a pool, a shed, a granny flat or house. It really doesn't matter. And then you're able to sort of change its height to the ground. It'll automatically calculate the drop edges. So Whitney, for stem wall construction or drop edge construction, you can showcase that. You can allocate costs to that and automatically calculate those site costs. And you're able to showcase what the cut and fill looks like. For pool companies, you can just to showcase, imagine this was a pool and I'm driving it into the ground. You can see what the cut is and what the net export of fuel or import of fuel is going to be. And then the other amazing aspect of this, if I raise this high just to amplify what I'm going to show, you can show shadowing as well. So we can showcase shadow the solstice any time of year, any month, and then see how that's shadowing to that building over the course of the day, so 24 hours. So we're working on this. That'll give you a bit of a preview of what we're working on. I hope that's exciting. We've got here, when you're going to go over CDC and DA approved. Yeah, so Brad is asking, was I going to go over? Thanks, Whitney. I'm glad you like it. The cut and fill feature is is genuinely going to be game-changing. Because you can imagine being able to drop in an ADU on any block in, say, San Diego or beyond. I'm sure you've got visions of California takeover. If you place that, it'll automatically be able to show to your clients, look, if you place it here, it's going to be more cost effective than here. And it'll calculate to a high degree of accuracy, because it'll calculate the fill, the export, the net change. So obviously you're going to try to get to that 50-50, and also the drop edges. And then you'll be able to allocate your recipe of costs. So it's exactly your cost of building that ADU there, which is pretty cool, but I'm biased. Brad, the question you had was I going to go over CDC and DA approvals? I think this may have come through via Anna, but what I was going to go through was simply notifying that we're now doing approvals for all sheds, farm buildings, garages, etc., as well as pools in all of Victoria, New South Wales, and now including New Zealand. We are trying to get back to the earlier question about South Australia. So Nug would sort of inform who asked that earlier. I think that was Jenna from memory. So if you're in an area, Brad, that we're not covering just yet, I'll make sure that Nug reaches out to yourself as well and touches on that. But the answer to CDC and DA approvals is yes. And given that you're mentioning CDC and DA, that should already be there in New South Wales, depending on your build type. We still haven't done it for houses, for example. So in short, I'll get Nug to reach out to you, Brad, and go through exactly what we're doing and when and how we can help you. Darren, we've got a hi, Tim, can you please clarify what you mean by shed approvals? Okay, so for those of you that don't know, we've got a marketplace in the system. So if I just quickly jump back and share, I'll explain, because I had a few questions about what am I talking about, approvals and things like that. So let's just quickly go through it. Let's go to a different address. I should have just stayed on that address. I'm a creature of habit. So here, if I go to, say, for example, I wanted to do a pool, and I drop in a pool. That's an example, pools, all, and I drop it, because we're still not doing approvals or duplexes, so I have to drop in a pool so you know what's happening. So let's just drop in a pool. All right, so if you go to cart, for those of you that aren't aware, we've got a marketplace from within the app where you can purchase 10.7s, titles. This is specific to your jurisdiction, whether you're in New South Wales or Queensland, New Zealand or California. It doesn't matter, these we can turn on. And then as part of this, we have an approval process. So say, for example, you wanted to have a CDC approval, you can simply select CDC approval and order that. It will show you the ETA and the price, and we'll do the entire approval process for you and get it through. So you'll see the ETA, you'll see what the price is, and then we carry out those works automatically. So we've got connections with councils to be able to streamline it, to be able to submit the paperwork that's necessary, to be able to do everything that's needed to be done. The system is smart enough to know that if you do click that, it's going to tell you that as part of this, you have to purchase titles or 10.7s, and then we do the approval process. The advantage is, you can see the ETA, you can see the price. The other advantage is you can actually add your margin on these items. So rather than showcase the client $400, you can make that $1,000 or $800 and get that margin. And the advantage there is, and this works for the United States as well, for Whitney and those of you that are in the States watching on. So say, for example, we wanted to order something, whether it's approval or say a title or whatever it might be, it all works in the same way. If we go to try to order that, what will happen is a payment gateway will pop up, and they'll allow you to add the credit card details of that client to transact that. So you can tell the client, look, here's your pool or here's your shed. This is how it's going to look. we can go through the approval process. And I'm assuming you're thinking, what about engineerings and things like that? Nug and Anif can reach out to you and explain how that process works, especially for sheds, and have those sort of details, and it'll be in accordance with your local council's requirements. So there's nothing that you need to worry about, and it just simplifies that process, and it's one less headache that you have to do. Or our service can supplement your existing service for approvals in those months that you're doing more than you can handle. We can definitely help you in that. So by adding the credit card details, these details can be your credit card details or those of the clients. If you put a margin on top, the difference in funds will go to your account via Stripe, and it takes about 10 minutes to set up Stripe. And the same applies in the US. It works in exactly the same way. And in the US, you can pack your own items in this cart as well. So you can have your initial payment or your next step payment and take advantage of the payment gateway, et cetera, et cetera. If you did want to add items, your own items, or add your margin, you can simply do that by going into admin and going to the marketplace. And you can see here all those items. So whatever it might be, say that pool and that approval. So there's quite a few. CDC approval, then you can add your margin, which could be a dollar amount or a percentage of. And you can also add your own items. So these are items that you're charging for. So it's got nothing to do with a service that Canibuild provides. And you can also package items. So rather than sell these individually, you can package them as, you know, your starting package includes titles and approvals and this and that, and it adds up to $3,000, for example. So hopefully that answered your question. I'll quickly. Yep. So Jenna, like, I appreciate your contact details. We'll definitely get in contact with you straight after this. Brad, if you can provide your contact details, I'm sure we'll be able to find it as well. But if you can provide your contact details, we'll reach out, definitely speak to you about this. But hopefully that gave you some insight as to what we do. I'm conscious of the time. I always jump over, and I appreciate that everyone stayed on to listen to right to the end. Remember that this is monthly, so next month on first Thursday at 11 o'clock, we'll be doing the same thing. I'm personally looking forward to that one. I'm sure we're going to have key major features released, and probably some sexier features, as you can see from that little preview that I showed. But I'm keen to see you all again next month at the same time. So first Thursday, 11 o'clock. But again, if you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out by email or calling. We'll be definitely contacting those of you that showed interest in finding more about approvals or the marketplace or whatever it might be. And again, if there's any issues or support queries or estate requests, please use that support service desk portal with the right link. And then you'll get responded to a lot quicker. Elise, thanks. Yeah, believe me, everyone's really keen on the cut and fill feature. No one really wants to calculate cubes of import and export of fill, and it never really works out right. And it's something that you find out later and have to tell the client, hey, by the way, it's going to cost an extra 10 grand. But yeah, we're all super G'd about that. So I'm glad that you're looking forward to it as well. Jenna, you released the beast. Jim will be calling you. I'm sure that will happen in the next couple of minutes. But look, everyone, really, really appreciate everyone taking time out and joining. I hope everyone stays safe. And just remember, no matter what, just keep smiling. Things would always get better. But as far as Canibuild's concerned, we're always here to service you and any questions that you might have. So just reach out and we're happy to help. If there's nothing more, see you next month, 11 o'clock, first Thursday, and we'll do this all again. Take care, everyone. Thanks, Sammy. Appreciate the questions. And thanks, Whitney, in particular. Thanks for taking the time out all the way from San Diego. So I appreciate that as well. All right, take care, everyone. Thanks, Richard.